Ladies and gentlemen, Eli Manning.
What's up, fellas? What's up, Pat? How you doing, man?
Eli, thank you so much for joining us. What do you know about this artificial intelligence from IBM? Do we know if we can unplug it and just kind of slow it down if we have to at some point?
Hey, I'm new to fantasy football, and I'm using every feature possible. So I'm on the ESPN Fantasy app. I got the IBM. I'm using Watson. I'm using AI. I got the trade analyzer now with this waiver wire insights. I know a lot of people maybe looking for a new quarterback. They've had Aaron Rodgers. You gotta get on the waiver wire, find a new guy. So the waiver grades, they kind of give you some suggestions. Your best quarterback you can pick up that matches your team, that matches the league, what the rules are, and everything. So wow. I'm using all the information I can use to help my fantasy team.
Bro, you sound like you got it.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
You got it.
No doubt, Eli. Guru.
I'm sure there's fantasy football people watching right now. They're like, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. But I'm not a big fantasy guy. Everything you just said right there made me feel like, hey, Eli's got to figure it out. And if you don't, we got AI helping.
That's right. Boom.
And every single asset of this thing with IBM. Let's talk about that Monday night game because you brought up Aaron Rodgers in fantasy football. Largest Monday night football game of all time. Okay, how many millions?
24.
24 million people documented. How do they do that? We don't know because people are watching on so many different devices. How do they keep track? Big congrats to you and your brother with an incredible start on season 3 of Monday Night Manning, and we enjoy it. Aaron goes down, and then he goes to the blue tent. Then the cart comes out. Then Peyton has the same reaction, I think, as all of us. I thought it was a tweak. We're going to tape it up. He's off and running. And then the internet was like, well, look at the recoil on his Achilles right here. This thing's much serious. It kind of blindsided all of us that this was how the Aaron Rodgers Jets tenure would stop, at least for the brief moment after 4 plays. What do you think they do next? Did you see enough out of Zach Wilson in that game to think that he has matured or changed from years past to be their guy? Or do you think they should look outside the building to potentially make a run with this roster that looks phenomenal, all about the except for the quarterback position?
No, I think you got to stay with Zach Wilson. He's been there all through training camp. He still has some experience playing. He's still a young quarterback, but at least he knows the system. If you bring in a new quarterback who hasn't been anywhere, not to know the system, it just takes too much time. So, Zach obviously played great in the second half of that game, got it going. A couple of nice drives there at the end to get the win. So I think he's the guy. It's unfortunate, for Aaron. I feel for him. I know he was excited for this upcoming season. I know, you talk with him a bunch, Pat, on the show, and he'd worked hard. He'd, kind of a second chance and a new spot and a lot of new changes. So, feel for him that it had to end this way. It was a shock. Yeah. I mean, I got worried when it looked like an ankle at first. And when I didn't see someone land on his ankle or get twisted or didn't see anything of the ankle, that's when I was worried that it was going to be something worse.
Yeah, I agree. And whenever we watch it back, I had an optimism. I was just hoping because he stands up and it's just like, huh.
Yeah.
All right, well. I'm just going to sit down. I'm like, well, he's way too casual.
Yeah.
Right? That's way.
Oh, yeah.
That is way too casual for something that could potentially be season ending. And it is, at his age, everybody's giving their takes on this. We believe, without inside information from him, I believe he's too competitive of a human being. He's not going to let it end that particular fashion. As a guy who got older, obviously, in the NFL, everything gets harder. Everybody has a human body. What do you think about the 39-year-old Aaron Rodgers? No kids, no wife, coming back, or what decision he's going to make over the next few months?
Yeah, who knows? I guess it just depends on the recovery and how long it takes and the rehab. But I would think the mindset would be that he's rehabbing to come back and play again. This is not how he wants to go out. This is not how he wants this kind of second chance and coming to the Jets to end with 4 plays. So I would expect him to work his tail off and come back and get healthy and see what he can do with this team.
Hey, that area over there, he goes over there, big city, right? Everybody talks about he's going from small media market to big media market. Normally, you go from big media market to small media market, they're throwing parades for you.
Yeah.
Happy to have you here. He goes from Green Bay to New York, and it's the opposite. Like New York, the biggest city in the world is, well, I guess there's a bigger one over I think Tokyo.
Yeah, Tokyo, Shanghai.
There's a couple there. Anyways, biggest, you get it. Yeah, we just got to make sure we get it right, Eli. Thank you.
Yeah,
New York, that's this show. The biggest city in the United States of America is like thank God you're here. We are so happy. Was that your experience as the Giants quarterback? Obviously, in the good days, is that what it was like whenever you were winning? Because every door opens. Because New York is the gateway to everything, pretty much. Is that what you experienced as quarterback over there for the Giants? And is that obviously what he's doing?
Fun. Yeah, it's fun to win here. I'm not gonna lie, Pat. It's good. It's a good place to win a couple of championships. I still, they still clap for me. Still excited to see me when I walk around. I think more so now that I'm retired. I don't know. Maybe they're just happy I'm retired. Finally, yes. Thank you for finally retiring.
Eli, good to see you. Monday Night Manning. It's awesome. Really good. You've been doing it a long time ago. That's awesome.
But yeah, so it's a good spot. Obviously, he was just like in the honeymoon of what was going on. Everybody was so excited to have him here. Obviously, the media can, easily turn on you if you're not playing well. Obviously, he's not going to have to deal with that. Got something much worse in this injury. But I think everybody was excited. Everybody, hard knocks and. Can you come after being somewhere for 18 years? Can you come to a new team and have the same success and get this team and get the Jets back to the playoffs after their long stretch of not making the playoffs?
Such a silver lining right there.
That's right.
Yeah.
Guess what? That honeymoon phase is extended a whole nother year.
That's right.
Pretty cool.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Stephen A. said yesterday, he said, New York is now going to tell Aaron, we will wait for you.
Yeah.
We will wait for you. So if Aaron is on the fence of like, do I want to commit to an 8-month, 9-month rehab that is going to be miserable and isolating to get back at the age of 40 to play again? Do I want to commit to that? Oh, New York is like, hey, you remember what we did there? Rangers game, Knicks game,
So fun.
Broadway, events. That's just another, you can roll your ass in there.
That's
We'll
right.
have a parking spot
Exactly.
for you and your little thing with the Achilles is going to need. They're going to love it. This moment here, Bob, and I assume you've had you've done this before, I assume, yeah?
I don't know if I've run out with the flag.
Oh, Eli hates America.
Wow.
Wow. What is it, Wednesday, September 13th?
Yep.
I didn't think I was strong enough. Like Justin Tutt got it, the lineman got it. They usually give it to the big boys. I wasn't strong enough to carry it. I needed some help. I gotta get in the weight room. I gotta get in the weight room like you. I'm not all jacked up like you, Pat.
I got some vitamins I can send you that'll help out. But
there you go.
I love that you love America so much. He said, "I'm not strong enough to represent."
Let the big boys.
Let everybody. I respect that. You love America too much, almost. Darius, hell yeah. There's actually big news internationally about the NFL. We won't get into that now, but they just made a rule about next year starting. There's a spot for one international player on every single practice squad that's getting added to it. Like, I think the foreign soccer leagues have this, where there's only so many Americans allowed on the team, and I think the CFL has the same thing with how many Americans are allowed on the team. We're doing it now. We're opening up a spot for an international player who's either transferred over. He could transfer to America as a high schooler.
Yeah, 2 years.
2 years, and then he's able to make it, so that's good. We love them, too. Welcome to America. Yeah. Welcome to the greatest league. Great for growth, Eli. How much do they use you guys, the Mannings, because you're like the family of the NFL? Do you do a lot of international speaking, and do you go talk and represent the NFL in these other cities?
I haven't, but I'm up. I'm willing. I'm willing to learn how to do it. But since I retired, I haven't had to go over and go overseas too much. I've played 2 games in London, which was awesome, great experience. Went last year. The Giants played to London and enjoyed that, but I haven't. My international game is not strong right now, so I got to pump it up.
Dude, they love you in England. They would love you in England.
Oh, yeah.
The sense of humor, I think you would crush it. Germany, too. Oh, they're selling out arenas for shows that are kicking off NFL weekend. I mean, they love it over there. And they're speaking German, too. This isn't like American soldiers over there.
Right.
Okay.
It's like the actual Germans love it. They say 9 to other sports.
Whoa.
But they say ja to football, which we love. Darius has a question for you about rookie football players.
Yeah, Eli, speaking of the Mannings being, kind of the family of the NFL, your pops obviously played a long time, big brother. You were very prepared, being a big-time quarterback, coming in #1 pick. Got a lot of young quarterbacks starting off. Young, Richardson, Stroud. First of all, do they kind of pass the eye test with you? And what's the biggest adjustment for these big-time players coming into the NFL playing quarterback at this level?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just I think the schemes are pretty similar. I think the college game and the NFL game is not that much different. That's why I think it's, a lot of these young quarterbacks are coming in, they're starting right away game one, where that wasn't always the case. You kind of had quarterbacks, you'd sit them a little bit, let them, get used to the NFL game. But I think a lot of times, you're running similar plays. There's RPOs. The NFL game is kind of adjusted to the college game. But I think it's just the speed of the defensive rush. In college, if the team's just bringing 4 guys, you can sit back there, you can go kind of 1, 2, 3, like, hey, but you're waiting. It's like, all right, number 1's not open, number 2's not open, I can get to 3. In the NFL, you got to see the coverage and kind of disregard number 1 if it has no chance of being open. You can't wait for guys to get, to see that they're covered and then get to progression. You got to start, knocking them out quickly and get through your progression so much faster. And that just takes time. And, it's different coverages, different schemes, different blitzes, more disguise. In college, you have 20 hours a week to put, towards practice and film watching. 20 hours in NFL, you get that in a day and a half. And so you just so much more time to put in these different schemes, where it just takes it takes a little bit getting used to how quickly you have to get to your progression and what are these defenses and what are they playing a little right now.
Yeah, they put clauses in contracts now for about the amount of
That's right.
film, and then you get rid of them, obviously. Adam Thielen came on like after watching your brother operate, and I didn't get to see you behind the scenes. I assume it's very similar because you're all kind of wired the same way when it comes to football. Not life, but football. It's like the amount of hours that dude put in. And then the movie theater, like right next to the kitchen, pretty much. Like, why is that? Oh, during dinner, I need to watch film in here. And it's like literally all he did was watch film. So when that contract came out with a clause about watching film, it's like, I think they're in a bad spot.
Yeah.
If that's what they're worried about. And what you said about guys knowing the progressions and then knowing something isn't available, Adam Thielen told us a story about Bryce Young in training camp or OTAs where he ran a route and Bryce Young was so quick. He was the third option. Bryce Young was so quick to him that when he came out of his break, the ball was already on him. And he said, I think I dropped it. I was not expecting it. He said, Bryce was there before I was. Like, Bryce knew the entire thing. Is that the most important part? I think the brain is the most important part. Obviously, got to be able to make every throw. But the brain is what we need to figure out whenever we're evaluating quarterbacks. Right, Eli?
Yeah, I think it's just how quickly they can process information, know the play, see the defense, know where they think the ball is going to go in this defense of going to the right spots and just, understanding, hey, I got a bad play here. Where's my check down? What's the best thing I can do? Hey, this is the perfect call. I got the perfect play. I'm taking my shot right here. And so just not forcing things and just be able to process that information and know everything going on when you're hot, knowing protection. So, those first couple of games, the mind is spinning. You're worried about, hey, what's my own play? What's my protection? What's the defense doing? And now you got to play football and still, make good decisions and throw the ball accurately. So it'll get better. This first couple of games, it's tough, but it'll start slowing down. You'll start understanding, like, kind of even just learning, like, what are my favorite plays? Like, what are my base plays? What are my 7 plays I want in the game plan every single week? I can tell the coordinator, this is my 1st and 10 completion play. Just getting comfortable with your base package, with your new offensive coordinator, and where your kind of breather plays, where you just know exactly, whatever the coverage is, where to go with the ball, and you can play fast.
Such a basic little piece of information to have. Like, these guys don't even know what they like yet. Yeah. And they probably won't until what, like 6 weeks, 5 weeks?
Yeah, I'd say kind of 5 weeks, 5 or 6 weeks. You start, you start having some success with some of these plays. Hey, let's call that one again. Like, yeah, I like this one. And sometimes like you can get too complex. And I understand you're trying to get a perfect, some perfect plays or hit some shot plays, but some of it's just, what are your 2-minute plays? Like, those are probably the plays you've run the most. You've run the most during training camp. Everybody knows what to do. Everybody can play fast. Like, sometimes, hey, just keep running those plays for a little bit and just find ways to get the guy some completions, get moving the ball, and then, let them. And then, all these guys are great athletes now. Let them run around and create some plays as well.
Yeah, just like you, Eli, great athlete. Now, a team that needs, great athlete. I saw this guy hit a golf ball.
Oh, baby.
Country
330, like big high draw. Post, who we're talking about?
Wrong guy.
No, that was you. Full pose afterwards, too.
Held it.
And you don't know this if you're not around him. He's a big son of a bitch. You know what I mean? Like,
What they say.
He's like always pictured next to Peyton, and Peyton obviously big too.
Yeah.
So you don't just like automatically. That was my first time really standing around you, and then at the first tee you hit that monster drive, and it's like, this dude is a monster.
Holy.
I had no idea that was the case. Your golf game still good?
It's strong. It's strong. Had some free time this summer, so got to play a little bit. So I enjoy it. It's a good. That's the competition I like now. Golf competition. I do not want to play football. I don't want to get hit. I don't want to rupture an Achilles. I don't want to get sacked.
Too soon, Eli.
Jesus.
A team that needs to figure it out quick is your old team. Tone has a question for you.
Yeah, Eli, Micah Parsons came out this week and was kind of criticizing or talking about how the Giants didn't protect Daniel Jones, specifically having him in the game up 40, or when they were down 40-0 and not protecting him there. What are your thoughts on that situation?
Obviously, just the whole situation was tough. You lose 40-0. There's always there's not much good you can take out from the game. I think probably Daniel, he's a competitor. I bet he wanted to stay in there, get something going. Hey, let's go get a drive here in the fourth quarter where we can go score and give us some confidence going into next week. Sometimes, I've been a part of games where you're down late in the fourth quarter. You haven't scored much. The game's over, but hey, let's go do something good. Let's get something positive. So I'm sure that was his mind thought. Just want to have something to build off. And unfortunately, that didn't happen either. So, I think as a quarterback, you want to be competitive. You want to stay in there and try to, make some plays, even if the game's out of reach.
Yeah, he got hit like 7 times. The game was way out of reach.
Brutal.
So the only plays that were being made was by the rubber pellets on the turf.
Yep.
And they were playing right with his face the entire time. Speaking of a guy that we got questions about, seems to be the same situation every year whenever it's not good. Ty has a question for you, Eli.
Yeah, Eli, the other guy you got to watch quarterback Monday night, Josh Allen. A lot of people have been talking about this week how he's, led the NFL in turnovers since he got in. And while he is a superstar, everyone understands that. He can make every throw on the field. A lot of people saying, like, hey, can this guy play within himself? Like, he's kind of putting himself in this same situation over and over again where they have opportunities to win, but then he makes some of these bonehead turnovers and kind of just can't hold on to the ball. Why is he doing this kind of stuff over and over again? What do you think he needs to do to kind of get over that hump?
Well, it's hard to argue with his success that he's had the last couple of years. I think the last 3 years they've been the top scoring offense. Or one of the top, but I think, combined the 3 years total, I think they have led the NFL. And so, he makes a lot of unbelievable plays. And so I think as a quarterback, a competitor, it's hard to be like, hey, keep making the unbelievable plays and the runs and the hurdles and like these great tight throws, like keep doing that, but just don't have the bad play with it. You kind of, with one comes the other. Like you can't make a decision. I'm only going to make the unbelievable, throws. I think he does, have to learn to be a little bit more patient and you can't force things. And he's, I think they're telling him, hey, don't run. I think you got to let him run. If he's told not to run, that means he's going to be throwing the ball, and that's when you start forcing stuff. Like you can't change his game too much. You let him run around, let him be an athlete, extend plays. Make the great throws down the field. Trust your receivers. So unfortunately, the Jets are a good defense. They had the best of them the other day, but he's still been so effective. He's still so explosive, and he's fun to watch. He'll bounce back and he'll start having some great games and get back on track.
Interesting stat here from Hembo. Okay, It is true. Josh Allen leads the NFL in turnovers since 2020 with 57. Also true. Josh Allen leads the NFL in touchdowns since 2020, 131. So to your point, Eli, literally everything you just, shout out to Hembo, by the way.
Hembo.
But to your point about everything you just said there with a gift and a curse, it's like there's greatness coming. All these teams that played bad here earlier, are we worried about them or what? Like Burrow didn't play great, Josh didn't play great, Kenny Pickett and the Steelers didn't play great. How much, Lamar and the Ravens get a win but didn't really play that great. Are we worried or no?
No, I don't think you're worried. I think it's, you're not playing as much in the preseason game. This is that first game. You got the jitters, you got everything going on. It's unscouted looks against the defense, and so then everything starts to calm down. You game playing better. You get in a better feel. So Burrow has, he didn't just not play preseason. He's missed a month of practice. Like that stuff. You don't just bounce back and you're just automatically on. It takes a little time. It was wet. It was raining some of these places. So, these guys will get it going again. And that's why, hey, you play 17 weeks. You're not always going to be perfect. Some teams come out and are on fire week one, and then, you kind of settle in, and I think it'll all even out. And, these guys are, these top quarterbacks, there's a reason they're being paid so much. They're unbelievable players, and they'll start playing that way.
Hell yeah. And,
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.